to Painful Truth.
Painful Truth, hosted by Mr. Mentor Me.
It's been a minute. We're gonna have a great topic of discussion. Feels good. Shout out to Houston. Houston is amazing. Clubhouse.com. Of course, always teaching you guys financial literacy, elevating your mind, having you guys understand the differences of investing, the differences of growth. As you guys know, for a couple of days, I went to Houston to check it out. Shouts out for the hospitality in many different aspects, man. It was really amazing. At the end of the day, people, I love traveling. As you guys know, you got to travel if you have the opportunity to and you have the financial means to travel. Before we really dive in, as you guys know, I'm always going to talk to you guys about wealth, how to invest, wealth while living, because a lot of us are not exposed to understanding financial literacy. If you have comments or questions, feel free to post it. In this video, we're going to talk about why is it sometimes the best thing to move? Why is it better to move than anything else in this world today? Sometimes you moving to a different state, different city can change your life forever. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video today. Why sometimes moving could be the best thing you've ever done. We got to first realize the economy has changed. As you guys know, I've been talking about this recession for a long time. Inflation is still high. Jerome Powell, which is our federal chairman of the United States, just increased interest rates again by a quarter basis points. And again, he's not done yet. Okay. We're going to have some type of recession very soon. They're expecting the recession to be end of this year, early next year. And we don't know how aggressive it's going to be. It's all assumption. It's all theory, of course. But at this point, they're confirming on a lot of aspects it's not looking too good. For a lot of you, I know you guys know I'm a stock trader, stock investor. Right now, the market is all over the place when you talk about the stock market itself. We're going to talk about, of course, some of these regional banks. We know that one of the banks, of course, actually three of the banks already got saved. Silicon Valley Bank was one of them by, of course, the government. Number two, ticker FCR was, of course, saved recently by JP Morgan Chase, pretty much took over the bank. And today, PacWest just has tanked 50%. And many other regional banks on the smaller tiers when we talk about regional banks. But people, at the end of the day, this is just a sign to show you that sometimes what you're hearing online is not true. When you hear TV or social media telling you, oh, the economy's perfectly fine. Since '08, everything is fully structured and regulated. We should not have any financial problems. Well, that's kind of wrong. And by theory, I'm going to prove it to you, right? A lot of banks have to have a certain amount of reserves in their bank. And you would have thought since 2008 with the regulation that happened, with the re-regulation that happened to, of course, many money center financial institutions, we shouldn't have had failed banks today. But again, we're in the same boat once again, and it's getting worse by the day. Now, I don't understand how is that even possible when the government's seen how they had to bail out many different financial institutions such as Goldman Sachs and many other banks. And look what's happening now. These banks are back to the same BS. We are going through situations where people are feeling very uncomfortable to leave their money in banks, even though their money is insured up to $250,000. So we could already see a proper crisis coming very shortly. Now, we don't know when. They say, again, the end of this year. 3 banks have been bailed out, and there's going to be way more. People, I want you guys to understand and prepare yourself by having your credit in order, having your savings in order, and having your tax return in order. Because if we go into a recession, I spoke about this numerous times. It's important to understand this is also an opportunity to invest into the stock market. It's also an opportunity to buy homes. And if you want to go with a riskier asset, you could always, of course, invest into Bitcoin if it drops down below a certain resistance point or support line. Again, at the end of the day, people, you got to understand this world is changing. Now, what I want a lot of you to understand, too, while it's changing, your mindset should be changing. A lot of us, we're stuck in this triangle. And the triangle that a lot of us are stuck in is going to work, going home, maybe, I guess, also going to church. That's that triangle. The problem is We're stuck in that triangle and we're not looking for change. We're not trying to move over to a different city. We're not trying to look out to different opportunities sometimes in different states. For a lot of you that's investing or trying to learn how to invest, a lot of you were at my show. Shout out to everybody who came out to my show, who was online, who watched my show on flipping real estate this Sunday, well, this past Sunday. I taught you guys how to flip real estate with money and without. Shout out to everybody who's at the show. And of course, via webinar. People, I want you guys to understand, you can get a way better opportunity if you change your mind and sometimes look for opportunities in a tertiary market, simply meaning in a market that's developing, sometimes 30 minutes away from you, sometimes 1 hour away from you. People, lives have changed by just sometimes moving to a different state, moving to a different city, moving to a different county. A lot of you are so stuck in the world of the box that you live in, and you constantly don't realize that you're failing and hurting yourself and your family's generational wealth by just not changing anything involved in your lifestyle. There's a lot of opportunities, sometimes 1 hour away from where you stay at, sometimes 40 minutes away from where you stay at. But the problem is a lot of you, you're so stuck in the city that you live in, the county that you live in. And when you don't see opportunities and you start hearing he say and she say, you start believing there is no opportunities in this world. Shouts out to all the investors, all the entrepreneurs, and many individuals who call me telling me how they have grown by either moving to a different state, and we're going to talk about that, and they have either moved to a different, sometimes city. And let me tell you why. We're going to talk about some of the reasons why they're doing this. Number one, I want you guys to understand, especially when I'm a guy coming from, of course, the Tri-County area, Broward County, Florida. Okay, you guys got to understand a lot of the degrees you're going to school for, you're not getting paid the best you can get paid with your degree being in sometimes Broward County. So a lot of people move to Maryland. People move to states like Maryland. Sometimes people move to Atlanta. People move to Houston. People, I want to focus on Maryland for a moment. Okay. In Broward County, right, a social worker gets paid anywhere from $40,000 to maybe $68,000 a year if you have a master's degree. In Maryland, people, a social worker gets paid minimum $100,000. Minimum $100,000. Over there, you're an asset. Over here, you're in liability. People, there is so many people in Maryland making six figures or more. When you compare to Broward County, Florida, Miami, Florida, period, I can focus on Florida because that's where I stay. That's where I grew up from. When you look at the numbers online, a lot of people in Broward County do not make $100,000 in this economy where the cost of living is out of control. And the reason is you guys are so stuck on the job you work on. You're not trying to look for other opportunities. You're sticking to these jobs, giving these companies all your labor, and believing one day with a $2 or $3 raise, your life is going to just magically change. This is why I always say you got to learn your numbers. Even if a company gave you a $2 raise at 40 hours a week, people, that's $80 extra. Times that by 4 weeks of the month, that's $320. Times that by 12 weeks in a year, or 10 months in a year, sorry, that's $3,000 plus the other 2 months, that's another $6,000. People, at the end of the day, you guys got to understand. Sometimes the blessing of life is for you to simply move to a different city and see another opportunity. And you don't have to move too far. Sometimes a 1 hour drive can change your life forever. A lot of you are so underpaid, but you start to believe it makes sense because sometimes your friends are underpaid. So when you ask your friends, well, what do you get paid? They tell you 40, 50, 60,000 a year. Your mindset believes, well, I guess that's what everybody get paid. Not realizing if you would just sometimes move to a different city or even take a sacrifice, move to a different state for 2 years and come back with purpose. You probably saved $100,000, $200,000 in your bank account. You come back. Guess what? You change your family's life forever. I want you guys to understand there's different types of opportunities in different cities and different states. This is one of the reasons right now I'm not even really investing in Broward County, Florida right now. I'm in a whole different county. I'm in Palm Beach now because I'm getting more bang for my buck in Palm Beach counties. Remember, Palm Beach owns several different counties. See, a lot of you need to understand, you got to be creative when you're investing. I'm not going to just sit in Broward County buying these expensive homes that's not going to bring you the passive income or the ROIs that I want. But a lot of you are doing that and you're hurting yourself and you're realizing your numbers don't work. There's a client that called me maybe 2 days ago telling me they have a $3,100 mortgage. A mortgage, if you would have bought when it was 3% 2 years ago or 1 year ago, believe it or not, you would have paid literally $1,700. Now you're paying $3,100 for the same home. The reason is a lot of us don't understand there's different opportunities in different places. For example, if you're in that Broward County area, why don't you go to a city maybe 40 minutes away? Is that bad of a drive? To save your family maybe 70% of a mortgage that you're going to pay. Remember, when you have a mortgage, you have that for 30 years, people. You have that for 30 years. Really think about that. You guys are buying homes. This is one of the biggest investments you're going to have, and you're stuck in that mortgage for 30 years. Shouts out to Sheree Mitchell. Appreciate the love. The problem is with us, we don't understand there's other opportunities in different cities. It's okay to sometimes move to a different state to go get a higher paying job that pays you probably 4 times what you're getting paid. It's so funny. A psychologist in Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, is probably getting paid $70,000. A psychologist in California, in Maryland, and many other states is probably getting $140. If you manage your money right, go do 2 years there, then come back, especially for you young individuals. I don't understand. You don't have responsibility. So there's nothing holding you to the city that you live in. So why stay in the city that you live in? Why not go grab an opportunity 2 states away or 1 state away or 1 hour away in a different county where it's drivable for you? Grab $100,000, $140,000 a year, $150,000 a year, and then stack up, of course, which is AKA saving, invest, and come back down to your hometown, home city. A lot of us, we got to understand, even when it comes to relationships, when we talk about personal relationship, which is number 2. I hear a lot of women, I have a lot of women friends, shouts out to all of you, right? Say there's no good men. But the problem is, right, sometimes it's not just there's no good men. All you've been dating is Southern Florida men in the same city of Broward County, Miami-Dade. Have you tried a different county? Have you tried a different city? Have you tried a Southerner from a different state, if it can work long distance for you? Because I'm going to tell you something, even when I was in the dating world, dating a South Carolina woman and dating sometimes a Florida woman is 2 types of dating. They're both cultured, but their mindsets are different on how they cater and how they live life. Even doing business. When I do business with individuals from Texas or California, no matter what color you are, you're just a human being doing business, it's different mindsets compared to doing business with people from Broward County. Their morals and ethics are different. A lot of you don't understand. You don't have to stay in the city that you live in forever. Especially if you're a young adult, you have no responsibilities. Why are you not trying to get opportunities in a different city, in a different county, in a different area? A lot of you don't realize nurses, let's say, for example, if we're talking Broward County, let's say what, 65,000 to maybe 100. A nurse in California, a nurse in Maryland, minimum 120, 140. I have clients. I have a lot of clients from different parts of the world. And I'm able to see what they make and see the difference. A lot of people in Florida, I can speak for us, you're not getting paid what you're worth until you move to a different city. A lot of you are buying these overpriced homes in Broward County and Miami-Dade because that's all you know, when you could start investing in buying homes in different cities. Today we're talking about why sometimes moving to a different city or state, even if it's an hour away, can change your life forever. A lot of you right now, you don't understand. You're financially struggling because you are so comfortable being in the city that you've always lived in. Until you change and take that leap of faith and say, hold on, there has to be more opportunity somewhere else, the struggle is going to never stop. Some of you went to school, you got 2-3 degrees. Broward County, for example, is paying you the worst. You can't just blame the county, you blame the employers. They know you're willing to take it. While if you go to different states, I'm going to just hold on to Maryland for the conversation's sake. Many of my Maryland clients, minimum they make is 130, 140. Minimum. While when you look at Broward County, you have a lot of people who are making $40,000 to $80,000. And they think they're rich, they think they're bougie, which is outlandish to me. It's crazy. It's crazy how grown adults make $40,000 to $80,000 and have pride and ego to the ceiling like they're multimillionaires. If you understood that these companies are giving you crumbs, they're diluting your value. People, at the end of the day, the goal is to understand if you sometimes take a chance and open up your mind, move to a different city, go see a different opportunity, go get the same job in a different county, or get the same job in a different state. Go there for maybe a year, 2 years. It could change your life forever because the amount of money you're getting paid, the cost of lifestyle is cheaper, there's way more opportunities, and there's sometimes the same amount of people that you could benefit from when it comes to investing and making money. People, there's 3-2 homes, I'm going to give you an example, in Jacksonville. $40,000, $50,000, $80,000, 3-2s, 4-2s that you could invest into in Jacksonville. But some of you are investing into Broward County just because, I get it, the rent is high. But the mortgage is high also. And that mortgage is behind your name for 30 years of your life. Except if you're rich, you bought it cash, that's different. I say this because a lot of you don't understand the key to winning in life. For a lot of you that want to financially go to that next level, you need to learn to sacrifice. You need to learn to think out the box. You don't have to end your life in your city that you grew up from. You don't have to end your life in the county that you grew up in. It's good to sometimes, this is why I believe in traveling, to seeing different opportunities. When you travel the world, no matter if you're traveling from state to state, from a continent to continent, people, at the end of the day, you're going to open up your mindset on how you look at life. I had a brother call me yesterday, which is a blessing. He's in, I forgot what state it was, I think Alabama, doing a lot of real estate. Real estate is way cheaper in Alabama. Doing his Airbnb venture, making lots of money per month. While if you look at the same price of the homes he's buying there, the square footage, the land space, the acreage, you're getting way more for your money there than here. Now, some of you may say, well, Bobby, at the end of the day, if I invest into different states, how do I control it? There's a lot to understand in that aspect. That's another video itself. Because there is risk. There is risk. Because the problem is a lot of the culture, I'm not just saying black, white, Hispanic. A lot of people move to different states just because they want to go have a good time. Just because they want to fit in. Just because they want to be at all the nightclubs. Just because they want to be able to be at all the brunches. And we all know what the other ones want to do. But at the end of the day, if you move to different states with purpose and actually do your homework, your due diligence, you will come out with a lot of wealth by the time you come back to your hometown. If you go there with purpose. A lot of you have degrees that can make you money, just not in the city you're at. So why not go to a different city where it can make you money? But why not go to a different county? For a lot of you that don't have degrees that's in school, let's talk about that for a moment. A lot of you need to understand, too, why not go to school for degrees that can make you money in your city if you don't want to move? We're in a world of technology, people, where coding is making you a lot of money. where AI is going to make you a lot of money. It's making people millions now. There is young kids, 19 years old. I don't know if you guys know this. Certain companies like Roblox, certain occupations such as coding, companies now are paying young kids starting internship $50,000 to $70,000. Hundreds of companies are doing that for coding. But here's the thing. You're having your kid go to school for social work. You're having your kid go to school for business administration. You're having your kid go to school for degrees. That's not where the world is going. And that's not where the world is at. Do you guys hear that 19-year-olds, 18-year-olds are making more money than grown adults as interns just because they have a degree where the future is going in AI? They have a degree in data engineering. They have a degree in coding or license in coding or certification in coding. There is 19-year-olds making 4 times what 40-year-olds are making. That just tells you how the economy is changing. The reason I had to do this live to tell you guys it's important to understand to change your mindset when it comes to investing in different cities. You don't have to hold yourself to the city that you grew up in when it comes to investing. You don't have to either go too far. Sometimes just an hour drive, a 40-minute drive, a 38-minute drive to a different city could change your life forever when it comes to investing. The question is, are you willing to sacrifice that? Are you willing to take the risk? And sometimes it's not the risk. It just makes more sense. That's just like myself. I live in Broward County, but I'm not doing business in Broward County as much anymore because I realize Palm Beach County has way more opportunities. So I start putting my dollars there than here. I start putting my credit on the line there than here. Even for a lot of you, when it comes to jobs, why are you working in the city you're working in, getting paid crumbs? When you could go to a whole different city, sometimes a whole different state, and get paid 4 times what you're getting paid. And some of these states have what we call moving incentives. If you become a resident, they'll give you $40,000 just because you moved there. They'll give you $10,000, $15,000. One of those states that a lot of people don't like to move at is Alaska. Alaska has a move and resident incentive. I think it's anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000 automatically if you become a resident. But a lot of you, and remember, you don't have to stay there forever. Why not do 2-3 years there? Stack up a whole bunch of money, buy a couple properties if it makes sense, and then come back down to your hometown, and that's where you're gonna eventually close out your life. It's just being smart, because a lot of you need to understand too. Some of these kids you're growing up with, these are your children. They're young. They have no liabilities. They don't have kids yet. Some of you don't have kids yet. What's stopping you from just driving 30 minutes away? What's stopping you from trying to get another certification to grow to the next level of your life financially? A lot of you to understand, if you sometimes make a sacrifice, make a change, move to a different city, move to a different county, sometimes move to a different state, and see the opportunity that exists. You can quadruple what you're getting paid. You can quadruple your investment opportunities. But you have to understand and see that it makes sense. I always tell people, before you do any of these things that I talked about in this video, make sure you go do your due diligence. See what state makes sense. Some of the wealthiest people right now, you hear them talking about investing, they're talking about Jacksonville. They're talking about Tennessee. I'm now looking at land in Tennessee. I'm giving you our game. This is where the world is going. This is where the population is growing to. I may not buy properties in Tennessee, but I'm willing to buy land in certain path of development areas. It has to make sense. There's due diligence you need to do. I don't put everything that I do online because it's not y'all business like that. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of things I do and invest into I don't talk about. Because at the end of the day, that's my personal life, and I choose to do that. But I do make sure while I'm going through my journey, I'm giving you guys a lot of game, a lot of gems, a lot of golden nuggets to move your life forward if you just would listen to what I'm trying to tell you. So for a lot of you that's financially struggling in Broward County, Florida, probably some people are even struggling in Atlanta. Try a different state. Try a different county. Your life doesn't have to end in Broward, people. Your life doesn't have to end in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for some of you that live here. There's a lot of investment opportunities in different states. Why don't you take those opportunities? Sometimes if you just drive an hour and a half away, you can get a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home for $250,000. But no, a lot of you want to stay in Broward. Go ahead and get $800,000 mortgages. Because for some of you, I don't know why, it just makes sense. But I think sometimes too, it comes with complacency and transparency. You're very comfortable with how your life is. Going to church, going to work, going home, getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. You're not happy with it. You go to sleep. You repeat that cycle. Another year passes. You get a tax return. You go back to work, go to church, go home. You get the same measly paycheck. You realize you're upset. You're still not making enough money. You're complaining, but you go for another year working at the company. When does that cycle change? You buy one property, you're stuck. Your money ran out. Because why? You're in a certain city or county where everything is so expensive. While if you went 1 hour away, 40 minutes away sometimes, it could change your life forever. You're just in a whole different city. 40 minutes away, you're investing. 1 hour away, you're investing. 2 hours away, you're investing. That's drivable. That's drivable. You could drive there in the morning, you'll be back in the afternoon. People, what's the big deal? What's the big deal to invest into a different city or county? If it's close by, 1 hour is not a bad drive. 2 hours is not a bad drive. 2 hours and a half is not a bad drive. For me, 5 hours is a pretty long drive. I can't do 5 hours because of my lifestyle, shows, one-on-ones, appointments, my family. There's a lot of reasons why I can't do 5 hours. That's why I pulled out of Jacksonville. Jacksonville has a lot of opportunities. That's actually where a lot of wealthy people are investing their dollars. It's in Jacksonville, Florida. The only reason I pulled out from buying properties and flipping properties there, my lifestyle can't accommodate the constant 5-hour drive or 5-hour flight. So for me, it doesn't work out to invest into passive income properties, but it works out to buy land. Be smart about your life. Learn from others who are doing better than you. And at the end of the day, I'm not trying to downplay anybody, people. Listening can take you far in life. All you got to do is apply yourself and listen. Be smart about your life. Time is taking people. You're getting older. A lot of you are not putting yourself in position for retirement. And you're going to pay the cost. That's the truth if you don't change your mindset. A lot of you have businesses, you're entrepreneurs, but you don't do payroll for yourself. You don't have any investment vehicles to retire. It's time you start looking at things differently. Start looking at different cities, different counties, different states to invest some of your money into. It's way cheaper. You get way more opportunity. Before you go into different states, though, I always want to say this. Make sure you have the proper resources. Make sure you have the proper timing. Make sure you understand the market you're investing into before you go out of state. Because a lot of people, before they go invest out of state, I always tell them there's a lot that goes with that. You could lose a lot. But you could also make a lot if you structure yourself right and understand how to control the circumstances that's at hand. Be smart about your life. It's your boy Bob from MentorMe.com. You guys have a great day. Be blessed. Peace.